What's up, guys? Welcome to Cage Side Connor. I am Connor. Today, I thought we'd make a timely video as we just are coming off the card with Tetsuya Taira fighting Hunsum Park. I wanted to match up the rest of the UFC flyweights. I realized none of the flyweights in the top 10 currently have a fight booked. There's a couple in the bottom half of the top 15 that have fights booked, and then Steve Ercik has a fight booked for this upcoming weekend. That would be August 9th, and he is ranked number 10, but he's fighting someone outside of the ranking. So I thought it'd be very interesting to match up the ranked UFC flyweights and just create some fun matches for the UFC. They could watch this card, or excuse me, they could watch this video, and then they could just use my fights, because they're probably better ideas than what the UFC has in mind. Anyways, guys, before we get into the video, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I would very much appreciate it. If you don't, we will cut the UFC flyweight division just entirely, like they were gonna back in 2019. There were serious talks about that, serious talks about cutting the UFC flyweight division, if you could believe that or not, like 5-6 years ago. This was a real conversation that the UFC was having, and like they were justifying it too. God, thank God that didn't happen. We wouldn't have Josh Van. Could you imagine a world where we don't have Josh Van? Despicable. I would hate it. Let's get into the video then, guys. First fight I am recommending then, well, not really recommending, but first fight I am going to say that we can make out of these rankings. You can see here, here's the top 10, here's the top 15. Here's the rankings. I believe they have now switched Tetsuya Taira up to 5. So Kai Kara-France is currently ranked 6. Tetsuya Taira is ranked 5. That is currently how they have it. Tetsuya Taira, of course, off a big win this weekend over Hunsum Park. They bumped up one, even though Hunsum Park wasn't ranked at all. Whatever. I don't know. I don't understand the fucking rankings. Anyways, first fight that's inevitably going to happen, because the UFC have already set this one up, is, of course, Alexander Pantoja versus Joshua Van. Alexander Pantoja, your champion for the UFC flyweight division. Joshua Van, the #1 contender now. I'm thinking maybe a December pay-per-view for this one, if we can get it on there. I mean, that they both fought on the same card on International Fight Week, the end of June. About 6 months later, a little less. I mean, I don't see why they couldn't turn around that quickly. I know there's some rumors going on right now that that's going to be like an all-women's card, or I think DC was just like throwing that out there. I don't know, but if that is the case, obviously Pantoja and Joshua Van aren't women, so they couldn't be on that card. And I don't imagine you'd want to throw a title fight on the prelims, although that'd be kind of cool. Maybe we could do a cool fight night with a title fight on it. We haven't had one of those in a while. I think the last one of those we had was Shevchenko versus Grasso, like 2 or whatever, on that Noche UFC card. Not the Sphere one, but the one before that. So yeah, anyways, back to this fight. Of course, the UFC have already set this one up, and it makes perfect sense. Alexander Pantoja, of course, coming off the win over Kai Kara-France at International Fight Week, where he just absolutely dominated him. Joshua Van coming off the win from International Fight Week over Brandon Royval, in which that was fight of the night, fight of the year in a lot of people's eyes right now. And yeah, this fight makes all the sense in the world. It will be a spectacular fight. I don't see Joshua Van having too much success against Pantoja, but you never know. I just think he's a little too young for this. What is he, like 23? That's very young. I think he's 23, 24. So I don't know, man. It's just I think it's gonna be a little too much too soon. And Pantoja is fucking on one right now. He's looking better and better each time he fights, which is crazy for a 36-year-old flyweight. Yeah. Can't wait for this fight to actually get booked. I think it'll get booked sometime before the end of the year. Hopefully. Crossing my fingers for that one. Next, then, we move on to our #2 ranked flyweight and our #5 ranked flyweight. #2 is, of course, Brandon Moreno, and #5, Tetsuya Taira. I'm going to suggest we match these two up. I think in my post-fight video for the Tetsuya Taira versus Hunsum Park card, I recommended Tetsuya Taira wait for the winner of Tim Elliott and Kaya Sakura, especially if Kaya Sakura were to win, and then you could do that fight in Japan. But apparently there's some reasons why we can't go to Japan right now, or UFC can't go to Japan right now. I don't know, something about the arena not being ready for another like 18 months or so. So that's kind of scratched off the table. And with that, I say fuck it, we just book Brandon Moreno's Tetsuya Taira then, and I'm gonna suggest February in Mexico. UFC loves going to Mexico in February. They typically always do that. They hit that spot. It's like Mexico and Australia they hit in February every fucking year. But yeah, I say we throw this on there, throw this on the main event in there, and what a fucking fight it would be. I mean, Tetsuya Taira, obviously, this would be the hardest test of his career. I guess Brandon Royval does have a win over Brandon Moreno, so I guess that was the hardest test of his career. So the second hardest test of his career. But nonetheless, it would make perfect sense for him. He did just move up in the rankings, like I was saying, to 5. Brandon Moreno currently coming off the win over Steve Ursig, in which he also headlined an event in Mexico against Steve Ursig. Coming off a decision win over him, in which he looked great in that fight. Returned to form for Brandon Moreno. His last couple of fights, he's looked very good. Tetsuya Taira, like we've been saying, just defeated Huntsman Park. Before that, he was coming off the loss to Brandon Royval. So yeah, I think this fight makes a lot of sense. The rising prospect in Tetsuya Taira, and then the former champ Brandon Moreno. Fun fight too. I think that'll be a fun fight on the feet. Tetsuya Taira probably trying to get it to the ground a little bit, try to take his back, but Brandon Moreno not too shabby at grappling either. I think that'd be a very fun fight. Why not set it up? Next fight, then, I am Brandon Royval, who's coming off the loss to Joshua Van from International Fight Week, fighting Kairo Horiguchi. Kairo, of course, a former UFC fighter. He was a longtime Bellator fighter. I think I most remember him from the Sergio Pettis spinning back fist knockout, which happened up at bantamweight. Remember that one? He did get revenge on Sergio Pettis after that one, but God, what a crazy knockout that one is. And I think, you know, they're digging around Horiguchi a little bit here. So he just got re-signed in the UFC, and then they match him up with Tiger Ulanbekov immediately. He got injured, had to pull out of that one, but that was supposed to happen on the Azerbaijan card from back in late June. I don't know why we're matching Horiguchi up with guys in like the top 15 area. Like give him a top 5 guy. I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense to not. Like you re-sign Horiguchi for a reason. I believe he's 34 now, so time's a ticking. We don't got all the time in the world with Horiguchi here. He's here for a good time, not a long time. Let's just book him and get something fun. Do Brandon Royval. Brandon Royval coming off the loss. And I just think, if we're gonna do this with Horiguchi, like why did Kaya Sakura get a title shot immediately but not Horiguchi? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So at the very least, throw Horiguchi a fucking bone and give him Brandon Royval, someone in the top 5, someone you could justify just giving him a title shot if he is to beat Brandon Royval, right? Like you could just do that. Flyweight division not the deepest in the world, so I think one win in the top 5, yeah, you can easily justify a title shot in that division. Of course, like we were saying, Brandon Royval coming off that brutal fight with Joshua Van. No real shame in losing this one with how good of a fight it actually ended up being. I think it's just a bad matchup too. I think Joshua Van is very crisp boxing, and that just ended up being a bad matchup for Brandon Royval. Horiguchi coming off a win in his last Ryzen fight, where he I think he won the belt back in Ryzen or whatever. I didn't actually watch this fight. He did get knocked down though in this fight. I did see highlights, and so that's not a great sign. But you know, maybe the guy he fought was just a higher level than I suspect. So nonetheless, yeah, Brandon Royval, Horiguchi. Put this on a fight night sometime in the fall, albeit if Horiguchi still isn't injured or is recovered from his injury. I think it's a great fight to set up. Next fight, then, I'm going to recommend... Oh, yeah, Horiguchi fought DJ, if you guys remember this one. Where DJ got a last-second armbar. Like, literally last second. Like, round 5, 4:59 in the final round. And DJ got an armbar. Fucking nuts. Shout out to Dmitry Shnontin. Next fight I'm recommending, then, Amir Abazi versus Asu Amabayev. We could throw this one on the prelims of UFC 321. Both guys from that region, I guess. I don't know, you kind of just lump all the Middle East together when you're American. But yeah, UFC 321 going down in Abu Dhabi. That's gonna be headlined by Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane currently. And yeah, I think this one makes sense. Amir Abazi was supposed to be fighting Tetsuya Taira this past weekend, before he had to pull out, and then they filled in with Huntsman Park. Anyways, Amir Abazi very inactive, and you know, not blaming him. I think he's just running into problems, running into a lot of injuries. But yeah, I think you can't give him someone in like the top 5 again. I don't think you can justify that with how often he gets injured. And Asu Amabayev is kind of the exact opposite, where Asu Amabayev is very active. I think Amir Abazi's been in the UFC since 2020. And Asu Amabayev has been in the UFC since 2023, and Asu Amabayev already has more fights in the UFC than Amir Abazi. So I think you match these two up in the hopes that Asu Amabayev beats Amir, and that way you can have someone that's actually active in your top 5. Again, no disrespect to Amir Abazi, but I just think the guy just needs to show up for these fights. He needs to show up for these high-level fights, and I don't think you reward him from pulling out so many times with someone in the top 5, someone that's going to get him closer to that title. I don't think you do that. This fight doesn't make a little bit of sense, just in the sense that Manel Kape beat Asu Amabayev earlier in 2025, and you would be giving Asu Amabayev someone higher ranked than Manel Kape now. But I think that's just the way it's just going to end up shaking out here. You know, Manel Kape also, we'll talk about him in a minute, but also pulled out of a couple fights due to injury as of late. So, whatever. Let's reward Asu Amabayev's activity with a highly ranked fight. Amir Abazi is coming off that loss to Brandon Moreno from in 2024. It was in Canada in 2024. He didn't look super great in that fight. Not super memorable. And it's just hard for Amir to be in the minds of fans with how inactive he is. And the last thing we remember him of is that guy that got beat up by Brandon Moreno. Asu Amabayev coming off the win over Jose Ochoa from, God, when was this? It was only like a couple weeks ago, end of July. And then before that, he did lose to Manel Kape. So yeah, it's a little bit of a weirder matchup here, but I think you just match these two guys up in the hopes that Asu wins and you could continue on with him, because Amir Abazi just really needs to get his shit together with the injuries. Be more active. Next fight then I'm recommending, we are owed this fight. Kai Kara-France versus Manel Kape. Put it in Australia sometime earlier next year. Like I was saying earlier in the video, the UFC loves going to Australia in February. Australia and Mexico every February. Go look at the UFC calendar. Every fucking February, this is where they go. So I think they're gonna do it again. And why not have this fight on there? We are owed this fight. These two have been talking nonstop shit to each other for the last, like, what, 3 years now. So we need this fight. I need this in my life. We all remember the Manel Kape post-fight interview when he was talking shit about the boys over at City Kickboxing. That was fucking hilarious post-fight interview. Go look it up. I can't repeat what he said on YouTube because YouTube will, like, ban me or some shit. I don't know what they'll do. But I think this is a fun fight to set up. I think it'd be a fun striking match nonetheless. And like I was saying, Manel Kape coming off an injury, I think you kind of just got to give him someone else now. You know, I think they were looking at giving him Tatsir Taira, or they were looking at giving him, you know, someone in that top 5. Let's just slow our roll here. Give him Kai Kara-France, and then hopefully the winner of that can fight someone else. You know, if Manel Kape wins, because Kai Kara-France, it's going to be hard to justify another title shot for Kai Kara-France. He already kind of got his shot at Pantoja. But if Kape were to win that, I think you could then match him up with someone else, and then the winner of that get a title shot. If you know what I'm saying. Kai Kara-France coming off the loss, of course, to Alexander Pantoja from International Fight Week, in which he did not look good in that fight one bit. But yeah, I think you set this up. This is a grudge match. A grudge match of all grudge matches, because it'd be fucking hilarious. I love Manel Kape talking shit. And yeah, I think it'd be a good fight. Let's set it up. Of course, Manel Kape coming off the win now over Asu Amabayev. Here's a weird little baby punch. I don't know what the fuck he's throwing there on Asu. Of course, before that, Manel Kape did lose to Muhammad Mokaev. Speaking of Muhammad Mokaev, I wasn't gonna do this until the end of the video, but you know, fuck it. We'll do it live. Goddamn. Where the fuck is Muhammad Mokaev? Why the hell is Muhammad Mokaev not in the UFC? What are we doing? I know Dana said he was like, I don't know, what was he doing? He was like talking shit to the staff at the UFC or something, pissing everyone off. Like, who cares? Like, you know how many fucking annoying athletes the UFC probably has under their roster? And you're telling me Muhammad Mokaev was the worst of them? So much so that he needed to get cut? We're gonna cut what is he now, 25? A 25-year-old young undefeated prospect that has multiple wins over ranked guys in the UFC Flyweight division? We're gonna cut him because he was pissing off your staff? I don't know. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Resign Muhammad Mokaev. Muhammad Mokaev might literally be the best flyweight in the world. He literally might be. Like, you can't tell me he for sure isn't. You can't say definitively Muhammad Mokaev is not the best flyweight in the world. He might be. He's that fucking good. He's not in the UFC. Why? He's fighting cans in these other organizations right now. It's like, why? What are we doing? Just re-sign him. Who cares? It's not like it's a money issue either, you know? That's at least somewhat more understandable from the UFC's perspective. It's like, oh, he's just asking for too much. That I can at least get. This? He's pissing off your staff? What did he say that was so bad? I would like to know what he did that was so bad, I guess, but still, re-sign Muhammad Mokaev. Fucking ridiculous. He could be on like his third fucking title defense by now. I don't know. Fucking weird. Back to the rankings. Next fight. Alex Perez versus Andre Lima is another fight I'm going to suggest. Alex Perez, of course, was supposed to fight Steve Erceg this upcoming weekend on August 9th. Got injured last second, but he was already the replacement for that fight. So, I don't know. Then he was the replacement for Hyun-Sung Park. And then, of course, they pulled Hyun-Sung Park out for remain against Tetsuya Taira. And then, yeah, it's a mess. It's a fucking mess. And Alex Perez, very inactive as well. One of these, another one where it's another ranked flyweight that's super inactive. And I just don't know. I don't know what you do with Alex Perez at this point. So I'm giving him someone outside the rankings. Andre Lima is that guy that got bit. You guys remember that? And he got the tattoo of the bite. Anyways, he's actually very good, believe it or not. He's a good little fighter. I say little, like these flyweights can't beat my fucking ass. They could. But yeah, it's Andre Lima. He's a fun fighter. He's undefeated right now. He also had to pull out of a fight recently, so whatever. I don't know. Everybody. I was gonna recommend the Rafael Estevan, I believe his name is. He's also an undefeated flyweight with a bit more wins in the UFC than Andre Lima. But he pulls out of fights left and right, and he just missed weight in his last fight by like 4 fucking pounds. So he might have to go up to bantamweight. So yeah, I'm recommending Andre Lima. Let's get someone new, someone fresh in this top 10. Someone we all like. I think we all just really like the story of Lima getting bit. At least I do. I think it's very fun. Perez coming off the loss to Tetsuya Taira. This was his last loss, so you know, Tetsuya Taira very good. No real shame in losing. Like I was saying, Lima. There's the bite. Look at the bite. Fucking crazy. Who the fuck gets in the UFC fight is just like, oh, let me bite the guy, you know? Imagine if that was legal. That's what we should do. Let's make steroids and biting illegal in the UFC. And we'll all be having a good time. Anyways, Andre Lima. I know it doesn't make much sense because he's not ranked, but you know, I think you give someone a shot that isn't ranked right now in the top 10. Yes, I'm going all the way up to number 8th ranked guy, but I don't think you can give Alex Perez, with how inactive he is, a reward of fighting someone higher ranked than him or someone even ranked. So you give him this guy. Hopefully it'll be a fun fight, and if Perez wins, then we can talk about someone in the top 5 or something like that. And then if Lima wins, you have a new star. You have someone we can push towards the title shot now. So I think it makes a lot of sense. Next fight then, Steve Erceg versus Ode Osborne. This fight's going down August 9th, as of the recording was today, August 6th. So it's going down in like 3 days. Not too much to say on it. Steve Erceg, we've already touched on multiple times. Coming off 3-fight losing streak right now, but it's like the 3 best guys in the fucking division besides Kai France. He's coming off losses to Pantoja, Kai France, Brandon Moreno. So, you know, what are you going to do? Ode Osborne coming off a big win in his last fight, and he wasn't looking too good before that. So good for him getting a win there. He got a TKO win. And yeah, this should be a fun fight. I'll be doing a preview of this UFC Apex card. It's probably already up on my channel if you're watching this. Go watch this. Go watch that after this. Next fight then, Tim Elliott versus Kaya Sakura. Going down August 16th. This fight is currently booked. This isn't me matchmaking it. This is actually happening. It's going down on that Chicago pay-per-view, the DDP versus Hamza Chimaev pay-per-view, in a couple of weeks here from when I'm recording this. So looking forward to this fight. Should be a good fight. Let's see what they do here. Rooting for Kaya Sakura because I just think he's a bit more fun in this division, a bit more fun to play around with other guys in the rankings. Tim Elliott, very good in his own right, but kind of the guard of flyweight, right? He's definitely the gatekeeper of that flyweight division. He has been for many years now. So yeah, looking forward to this. Should have been Kai Asakura's first fight in the UFC. Like, he shouldn't have got a title shot right away. This is the perfect first fight for him. So let's do a little redo here with Kai Asakura and have him fight the guy he probably should have been making his debut against in the first place. Tim Elliott coming off a choke win in his last fight, a arm triangle over can't remember the gentleman's name. He did. Can't really see him right there. Who is that? I can't remember. Anyways, like we were saying, Oscar coming off the loss to Pantoja from last December. Took him a little while to get back in there, and I'm thinking about it. But regardless, he is now. So let's see how he does against Tim Elliott. Next fight I'm going to recommend then, Tiger Ulanbekov versus Ramazan Timorov. How do I pronounce this one? Timorov? I don't know. These names in these regions, man, they're tough. I'm going to recommend this one for the UFC 321 prelims as well. I just think these two match up a little bit better. Ramazan, more of a striker. Tiger, a bit more of a grappler. But I think they both mix it up very well. Tiger, part of that Nurmagomedov camp over there in Dagestan. Ramazan, he's a bit newer to the UFC now, but he's 2-0 in the promotion and has a good win over Charles Johnson already. And Tiger, I recommend this one for the UFC 321 prelims, just because that's typically where the Nurmagomedov camp likes to fight. But apparently Habib said that Umar Nurmagomedov is going to fight Mario Batista in Vancouver. Maybe throw it on the prelims there, just so the team stays together, which they also like to do quite a bit. But we'll see where they end up putting this one. If this is the fight they end up booking, Tiger coming up, I don't know, Ramzan coming off that win over Charles Johnson, like I was saying earlier. So that's a good win. I'm very high on Charles Johnson, actually. So yeah, great win for him. Got him into the rankings. And we'll see if they put that one together. I just think those are the two kind of left over here on the rankings, and it'd be a fun fight nonetheless. Next fight I'm recommending, Bruno Silva versus the winner of Lonnie Kavanaugh versus Charles Johnson. Lonnie Kavanaugh versus Charles Johnson is going down on the China card on August 23rd. Later this month. Bruno Silva is coming off the loss to Joshua Van from back in, when was that one? May, I want to say, just because Joshua Van turned around super quick for the fight with Brandon Royval. So yeah, I think that was in like late May, if I'm correct. But yeah, I think this makes a lot of sense. Lonnie Kavanaugh is someone I'm very high on as well. Another young, undefeated flyweight prospect here, and I'm very much looking forward to his fight with Charles Johnson. And I think that's a banger. And then Bruno Silva, like I was saying, coming off the loss to Josh Van. No real shame there, because we know how good Josh Van is now. But yeah, I think you give someone a chance to crack into the top 15 here. And, you know, Bruno Silva is actually ranked 14. I have 11 there. That's my mistake. But yeah, he's actually ranked 14. So you give someone a chance to crack into the top 15. And if it's Lonnie Kavanaugh, you got another young, undefeated flyweight there to throw into the mix, and he's a fun one to watch, more of a karate style, and really enjoyable to watch. But Charles Johnson, no joke, so we'll see who wins that fight. And yeah, that will conclude the rankings, guys. That will conclude my video on the rankings. That will conclude all the top 15 flyweights. Exciting division, you know. It's really turned into something fun, something fresh. I think we're all, you know, I think it's only rising in popularity. I mean, what a smart thing the UFC did with doing the face-off with Pantoja and Van. I think, especially with Van and Royval having like a fight of the year thing on the International Fight Week card. Then you have those two face-off. There's a lot of people talking about flyweight now, and it's it warms my heart, because this division was on the chopping block for a long time, and for a long time it was looked at as like the most boring division in the UFC. Now, I remember during DJ's reign, it was just looked at as like, oh, flyweights are on. I don't want to watch the little guys. And you know, people are very wrong for that. It's a great division. It's one of the most exciting divisions of sport. I mean, the speed at which they have is fucking crazy. The technique they need to have to be able to compete with these guys is fucking crazy. I mean, look at these young guys. Like I was just saying, the young undefeated guys in this division. They're so fucking good. Like Tatsiri Taira is only 25 and he's so fucking good. Joshua Van's 23, 24. He's so fucking good. That Lonnie Kavanaugh guy I was just talking about, very good. A very good prospect. It's just we have so many good young flyweights, and I'm very happy the UFC ended up keeping this division around, because like I was saying in the beginning of the video, it was on the chopping block at one point, and god, what a mistake that would have been. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Let me know how you would match up the UFC flyweights, what you would do. Let me know who you think is going to win between Pantoja and Joshua Van later this year, hopefully, maybe. Make sure you subscribe to the channel then. You know, let me know how I'm doing in these videos too. Let me know if you got any problems, anything you'd like to see, any video suggestions, anything like that. I'm all ears on that type of shit. So thanks again, guys.